Welcome to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. This podcast was created for the boomer woman leaving corporate, and now you're looking to reinvent yourself, become an author, an entrepreneur, a podcaster. Well, each episode will leave you with clarity. You will come away with the yes, I can and yes, I will reinvent myself mindset. So come on, let's do this. I'm your host, Margot Levette. Hello, everybody. Margot Levette here, back. We are at the we are here to have a conversation with Xernona Clayton Brady. Many of us here in LA know her because of the Trumpet Awards. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something about this lady. She is an author. She is a civil rights leader. She is a broadcast executive. And this year, she is the recipient of the NCBW Membership Award. Congratulations, Mrs. Brady.
Thank you so much. I'm just delighted. I didn't know I was going to get all of this.
For someone who has accomplished so much, you are known worldwide, and what you have done, your body of work, is no small feat at all. To be recognized and honored today, how does that make you feel?
Well, if I said how I really felt, you think I'm conceited. But I really feel that I'm proud of whatever I've been trying to do over these past years has been worthy in somebody else's eyesight. I know that I don't partake, nor do I participate, nor do I get myself involved in any project unless I feel the urgency of it and the seriousness of it. So I don't get into it. So I don't look for gratification from anybody else. I got to be pleased with myself first, that what I'm getting into will have value and meaning for somebody else. But to contribute to somebody else's life is such a wonderful feeling. I was interviewed one time by a guy who said, "What makes you happy all the time? You're always smiling and look like you're good cheer." And I said, "Listen, when I help somebody, I feel so good. Just selfishly, I want to keep helping people so I can just continue to feel good. So I feel good when I do help, but I don't look for gratification from anybody except self-gratification."
Gosh, such a humble response indeed for someone who has done and given so much to so many people. You are a former journalist. When you look around in these United States in particular, do you have turn aside moments where you just see something that maybe you haven't recognized before concerning the Black community, Black women, and young girls?
Well, I tell you, I do have a moment every time I see an African American, especially a woman, but any African American that's doing the journalistic tasks, I just have an inside feeling of joy. Because what I did is I opened the door. Opening the door of opportunity just makes me feel really, really proud because I was billed as a success. And so, which means that we got station owners and managers around the country who would call our station and ask my station manager, "How did you do it? What happened? What can we do?" And it was a kind of an odd experience for me because they had me go around to different television stations and tell them how to do it. Well, I was too polite to say, "Just open the door. They're out there, just open the door." But I give them some long story like, "It's the way you do it, open it up, then talk to them." But giving them the opportunity. But that's what we needed, just an opportunity. There were a lot more people out there who were capable of doing what I was doing. They hadn't had the opportunity. I opened the door of opportunity, and that makes me proud to this day. And every time I see it, it brings me that one little spark of joy.
Yes, as it should, as it should. I just have one other question. You are the creator, the executive producer of the Trumpet Awards. The Trumpet Awards is where you pay homage and really highlight the African Americans that have made some major strides, accomplishments, and contributions. Did that that event come out of the understanding that we do not always, when we do have our opportunities, people don't always give us our due?
Well, that's part of it. The other part of it is that white America did not know all the contributions we've been making in spite of our servitude. And not just African Americans, but we ourselves in our communities didn't know because we had very smattering bit of Black history when you were in school. So I remember when I was in school, I knew three people: Booker T. Washington, Sojourner Truth, the list goes on, and very short list. And every year we had the same people. We just read them all over again and all over again. We never learned any new people. And so Dr. King used to say that he just felt like maybe all white people didn't hate us because they love to hate. And maybe some of them hated us because they just didn't know us. And that maybe we have an obligation to put it out there. We're not all comedians. We're not all sports people. We are contributing significantly to the richness of this great America, and nobody knows it. And once I started the Trumpet Awards and people started seeing African Americans who were doing great and wonderful things, I would hear from them. Said, oh, gee, I didn't know that. But I'd hear from African Americans who didn't know. So I would discover talent that was hidden, that you didn't know. And that to me will always be a joy for me, that I was able to expand our knowledge. And one man said to me, and I'll never forget that, I was at a service station. He walked up to me and said, oh, that's Miss Trumpet. People call him Miss Trumpet. And he said, you gave me a reason to say I'm proud without just raising my fist. When I see that Trumpet Awards on television, I'm so proud of what our contributions have been and what our people are doing. It makes me feel so proud that I can say with pride, I'm proud to be an American.
What you're doing is actually writing history books, and that's so very necessary. You are writing our history books, the ones that we wouldn't have if it were not for the Trumpet Awards. I just have one final question. When we look around at the millennials and their accomplishments, are you full of hope?
Well, that's I have to say yes. We've got to maintain hope. But, there are times when you feel like you're really moving, but you're going backwards. So many areas, we're going backwards. And that's the reality. But you got to stay hopeful to prevent this feeling of going backwards. The reality is we are, but we don't need to feel it every day. We need to think positively and look positively on the fact that we made some progress, and we really have through Dr. King's leadership alone. We've made provisions now that African Americans can buy homes because of the Housing Act. We can compete for jobs because of the right to work in the states where you can. And so many things have now been provided for us through legislation because of Dr. King's leadership and others who have been out there on the forefront making those things available to us. But now still you get inside the jobs, and because with the Civil Rights Act, we didn't have white women weren't a part of it initially. When they added white women to the Civil Rights Act as a component, then what's happening today is we are hiring more women and more blacks, but also white women have to be included because it was added. So they're getting the good jobs, good opportunities, sitting on major boards. And so the integration of women into the workplace is expanding, is wonderful, but African American women are not benefiting as much. But we made some progress, so we can't say we haven't made any.
Once again, you are writing the history books with your own life as you share the information that you have and with the Trumpet Awards. Let me thank you and congratulations once again, Xernona Clayton Brady, here at the NCBW Awards and Conference. And I'm Margot Levette. I'll be back a little bit later. Thank you, Mrs. Brady.
I want to thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Couple of things that I want you to do right now. Go to my website, pick up a copy of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. Number 2, please freely listen to each and every episode. Share them out with your family, friends, the men in your lives. And then number 3, get in contact with me, one of the experts that have been on the show, because I want to make sure that you reinvent yourself. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.